The ECC is a building that's built in 1951. It's located on the south side of Prague. It houses our kindergarten and first grade students. The building is not a storm shelter. There's not a storm shelter near, so we do transport all students up here to the main campus on storms. We also have to transport all of our food to that site since it does not have a kitchen on site to prepare food. Anytime a storm gets close to schools, it puts those of us in the school business in a state of higher alert, especially when you start dealing with the very young children, the youngest we have in our school system. They're the ones that take longer to load a bus, longer to haul. They themselves get quite nervous because if you take them out of the routine, so the whole storm situation for them becomes it can become quite stressful for everybody just getting them to safety. We monitor the weather, and if a storm is predicted to come, we have to run buses and have them at that site, load students, haul them to the central campus, and then they go into the underground elementary school here where they stay until all the storm dangers pass. One of the primary things about the ECC obviously is location. It's the only building that's not located on the central campus. That causes parents are picking up or dropping off children a lot of grief in getting there to pick up children, picking them up. Security is an issue because it is a standalone building. It's located away from the rest of the campus. Obviously we have the locked doors and go through those normal procedures we do in all of our buildings, but it is lacking on safety because it is surrounded by public streets on all sides, and it's isolated from the rest of the school. The new ECC, which would be built on the same property as our present elementary school next to our community center, would allow immediate access to all of the other facilities that our students have, such as the PE gymnasium, the community center or the cafeteria, obviously the large playground, those things. But most importantly, the ECC is being built with a safe room. Approximately 3/4 of this building is a FEMA approved safe room. The students are safe in that building as they would be in the underground school. We're also moving our pre-K into the ECC out of the other elementary school. So we have a true ECC with our pre-K through first housed in one building with their own classrooms, a music room, special ed room, a library, a computer lab, office. It's completely self-contained school, so we retain the identity of an ECC center, but we do gain that safety of them being in a FEMA approved safe room, as well as the convenience of them being located with the other students in the district. Another large component of the bond election is the safe room that we're constructing at the middle school. That safe room will house all of the middle school students, staff, and have room for a large portion of the population residing around the school. The FEMA grant that we're in line to get is geared so that those residents within a half a mile of that facility can all fit into that FEMA approved safe room. We're also readjusting the middle school entrance so it's safer, putting a secured entrance in it, redesigning the office so people enter into the office instead of where they enter now just into the main hallway. They'll now come through an office before they enter into the building. And the final part of the middle school renovation is major upgrades to the HVAC units, the heat and air units in that building. That building itself is old, was the remodeled TG&Y, as everyone in town knows, and those heat and air units are at the end of their life and are quite expensive to repair. Updating them to new units in the long run will save the school several dollars.
A lot of schools have a plan where they'll try to phase computers in and out 3 or 4 years. And we were on a plan a long time back to phase those out, and then just budget crunches and things like that kind of got in the way, and the computers kind of got slided to the back burner. And so now we're stuck with probably 300, 350 computers that I would say the majority of them, 90%, are in the 8 to 10-year-old range, running XP, which Windows XP is no longer supported by Microsoft. Our district was fortunate about 8 to 10 years ago to get a smart board in every classroom. And smart boards allow the students to actually interact with the lesson. They can actually walk up to the boards, touch the boards, do their math problems on the screen, and then the screen will basically talk back to them and allow them to work. And right now our boards have become unresponsive to the touches because they're so old, and then also our projectors that project the image from the teacher's computer to the smart board have dead pixels on them, so the students are in some cases unable to even see the images as they're projected onto the smart boards. In the classroom that we're in right now is the classroom that I've been in for the last 21 years. And my room and the room across the hall are about the only 2 rooms at the high school that we have available for state testing. So when we have a month of testing in April, all of the students in my classroom and in the classroom across the hall essentially have to go somewhere else. And so they are losing their learning when we have to move students into this classroom to state tests. And then also, with the computers being so old, we have many computers that will crash during the test. So essentially, a student may have worked for 45 minutes on their test, it crashes, and then they have to start the test over, and then they become frustrated at that point. With proposition number 1, with the ECC, we will also be getting around $700,000 worth of technology. That technology will replace all of the smartboards and projectors in all of our classrooms K4 through 12. It will also give each teacher a computer at their desk. It gives the high school a one-to-one initiative, which means that grades 9 through 12 will receive their own laptop. They will check that out as a freshman and return that back as a senior. And then we will also be getting 5 new labs. That will be 2 labs at the high school, 1 lab at the elementary, and 1 at the early childhood center. On the one-to-one initiative, which is where the high school students will receive their own mobile device, this will allow students to research and communicate, collaborate with one another in every single classroom and not just in their labs. It'll also allow them to take those home, helps with equity issues. Students who may not have a computer at home will now have a device that they can research with also. Another part on the one-to-one initiative is we want our students to be more prepared for college, and so we're looking at moving to a learning management system where students will learn to upload their work, edit, and see their teachers' comments online, so that it'll be more like a college environment, so they'll be prepared to do that when they go to college or prepared to do those things in the workforce. Also, last year we invested money in basically the backbones of our computer system, and that was in our servers and our switches. The bond issue is geared more towards the equipment that you're actually going to see in the classrooms that the students will be handling. And that will also include wireless in all of our buildings. Right now at the high school, we have 1 entire wing that doesn't have wireless, and at the middle school and the elementary, the wireless isn't capable of handling more than probably 30 devices at a time. So the bond issue will also include wireless capabilities in all of our buildings.